I'm Van, Backyard Carpenter, Baby Boomers Can Do, and Jane is working for the county board. What you just saw me do was use this is my latest little tool. She calls them toys, but that's a bandsaw, and I was cutting out for these arms, right, I'm not sure how old these chairs are, but these arms are worn out, right? They're just broken up. See, they're broken. So I'm reproducing them, right? So best guess is this is mahogany, right? Honduras mahogany, which I ordered. And so now I'm taking the bandsaw and I'm cutting those to size. Oh, by the way, I'm not in my backyard. I'm in my garage. So I'm going to show you the process on how I use the bandsaw to cut this out. Now, next thing I got to do is my belt sander that I've turned upside down. I'm going to wear gloves, and of course I got my safety glasses on, and kind of clean this up. Okay, it may be kind of hard to hear me, but that's my belt sander, and I got it turned upside down. I got gloves on, I got ear protection on, and now I'm just following these lines to let go when I cut it out with my bandsaw. So here we go. So that kind of gives you an idea what I'm doing with my upside down belt sander, which I am wearing gloves and ear protection, but I'm cutting this down with it, shaping it up, and then I'll do some fine with a router around the edge, okay, do some more sanding, and then eventually I got to cut this edge off. Let me show you, okay, I got to cut, as soon as I match it up, all right, there you go. I have to cut this little edge right here off of here, so it'll be about like that. All right, so and I'll continue to work on it. All right, continue to work on it, and eventually I'll take my bandsaw and cut that out. All right, so I'm not gonna bore you with keeping it. It's tough. It's just tedious work. Taking the bandsaw, cutting this down, wearing gloves and ear protection. So anyway, that's what I'm doing at this point. Just kind of smoothing this out. Okay, so the next tool that I'm using, this is a tabletop planer. Alright, so I've got to plane down these rough edges. Now this is my little practice piece. Alright, so I'll slowly but surely take maybe a 64th of an inch at a time. Alright, just knock this down to where I need it, smooth it out. Just, you know, so I'm going to run through here and I'll show you how that works in just a second. Alright, this is what they call 5/4, right? So I got to wind this down. This is my handle to wind it down, right? I'm going to put it on 5/4, like so. I'm going to put this on 0. The reason is I want to be able to do it 64th of an inch. Yep, so it says it's a little more than 5/4, so I'm going to raise it up to right about there. Alright, so I'm going to again put it on 0. I know you can't see it, but this is putting it on 0, so I can crank it down a little bit at a time. So let's see what this does. This is a practice piece. Alright, so I got to raise it down a little bit more. So I'm starting at 0, and then I'm going to crank this down. I'm going to do it 32nds of an inch this time. Now I got to do the other side. Again, I put on 0, and now crank it down to 32nd of an inch. Do the other side. It's getting better, right? Getting better. So now what I have to do is go get the actual piece and send it through. I'm trying to smooth this down, and I'll smooth it even more with my palm sander. I'll show you that. But I'm wearing earmuff and gloves. I'm trying to plane this down to 1.25 inches, just doing like 3/64 of an inch, just barely going out. Just it's real smooth, but I'm going to take my time, continue just plane it down to where I need it. All right, this is the piece that I just ran through my tabletop planer. Now, I have been using the belt sander, which has 60 grit on it. This is a palm sander that has 320 grit on it. So I'm about to really do some smoothing out to make sure this is just really smooth. Then the next thing I got to do is run a planer, my router around this to get the edges nice and clean and smooth. So here we go. So I feel like I've duplicated that little humpy thing right there. See that humpy thing with this. All right, now again I got to get a hold of this now with my. Let's see, it's getting there. All right, now I got to get a hold of this with that palm sander with the 320 grit. All right, so I'm just comparing them to what I think, okay? Just sitting here comparing them. All right, looks pretty good. I need to go forward just a tad. So I'm gonna go back to my belt sander. This particular router is what I call a palm router, hand router. So I'm taking this off like so. And I'm going to put this in here. I've chosen this bit, okay, well, router bit. It seems to match the curvature of the previous handles. All right, push this button right here and then tighten this up. All right, now I'm going to use that scrap piece that I've been playing around with to set this where I need it. Again, I'm coming down, matching these little grooves on the side. All right. Making sure this handle's back. Right. May have to do a little WD-40 on this thing. Yeah. Is this not wanting to go down? Oh, there we go. I got it down. All right. Lock it in place. Well, I'm going to lock it for a second and then take this up. See what I got. Make my first run. Again, I'm going to be wearing gloves. Alright, this is my good piece. Alright, this is my scrap piece. This is my scrap piece right here. Okay, that's my scrap piece. So, I've got to use it to make my first run to test it out to make sure. Alright, and because I don't want to mess this up, my actual piece that I've been working on. Alright, so let's do it. Put my safety glasses back on, my gloves, and my earbuds. Alright, here, now I gotta plug it up. I got it plugged up. Alright, so this is on and off, and this is the speed. Alright, so I've routed the edge. I'm going to compare it to the previous one, and that looks pretty good. I'm just going to need to sand it down when I'm done. Alright, so this is my scrap piece right here, and this is my actual piece. Alright, this is a palm sander, right? It has these little gator clips that holds this in place. I think this is 100. Yep, 100 grit. So now I'm just sanding this by hand to get the edges really, really smooth. Alright. And now last thing I gotta do is cut out that little notch for the chair to sit in place. Oh, by the way, in a minute I'm going to show you the chair. But anyway, not going to bore you anymore showing you this hand sanding. I have where I'm supposed to cut this thing out. Now I'm going to do it with a bandsaw, and I'm going to turn my vacuum cleaner on. Now it's just a matter of sanding it down a little bit, but that's the piece. Alright, this is the previous piece. It's all broken up, and this is the new piece. Alright, I think it matches pretty good. Got the curvature that we need. Alright, fits on top of each other real good. Real good. So, again, The other backyard carpenter is Jane, my wife. She's the one that's going to have to determine what is the stain color that we're going to have to use. But this is the finished product, and I'm going to review all the tools that I use. This is a review of the tools that I use. That is a tabletop bandsaw that I use to cut the material out. That's the raw one, that's the finished one, that's the one I'm duplicating. This is a palm sander, and it's got 320 grit sandpaper on the bottom of it, real fine sandpaper. That's a belt sander, right? It's got like 60 grit on it. Of course, I had to have a rule, right? And this is it's just a hand sander. Alright, that's a router with the bit that I used. Okay, over here is the tabletop planer that I used to plane it down. So that's basically it. I have reproduced one of them. I got to take that raw material that I used the bandsaw and do the same thing that I did right here. So that's it for right now. I'm Van the Backyard Carpenter. Baby Boomers Can Do. You can find us on YouTube as the Backyard Carpenter Baby Boomers Can Do. I'm in my garage today working on. Oh, by the way, these are the chairs that the arms you see. That's really boogered up right there, and I'm gonna have to clean that up really good and attach the arm back. There's the other piece of the arm with the leather cover. So. That's what I got to do. So anyway, I got to clean up. I'm teaching tonight. It's a class called Building Construction with adults. So I'll talk to you later when I work on the second arm.